Ratings, gamers. Oh, hold it. We are back with Logic Bombs. Hey Siri, set a timer for half an hour, please.
Half an hour, counting down.
This time I have a plan. I have a timer, so the episode doesn't go too far. And I'm almost done freeing up enough space that I was able to make this one video, but I'm almost done that we will also be able to get back into bigger videos and console videos. We are changing things up. I now have plans. I now have times that I want to keep so we can make these videos nice, sweet, and short, but I will also have those longer sessions every now and then, and I will just go completely hog wild. But today, we have a plan. We are just here to play Logic Bombs and see how far we make it. Who knows? Who knows how far we'll make it? I'm in a good mood. I was binging and it's time to play some games. Alright, so where to begin? How to explode you? Only way Steam Fit is like so. Boom. There's going to be one wall between you guys, one wall between you somewhere, and one wall between you. Let's work on the rest of these little guys. You can explode two ways. How about you? Well, that seems to answer that question. Two walls. That goes right here and right here. Alright, so this is going to be a little tricky because the whole idea is that, we have no idea what's going on rows, only the columns. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, but I'm sure we can figure it out. Alright, what else is there to do? One wall, that does seem possible, doing it this way. Nothing that I can use to block you, and I don't know which way these bombs are going. Maybe I can determine it by these numbers, because as we know, there needs to be one wall between you, and one wall between you, and one wall between you, and one wall between you, to make it so the bombs can't explode a second time. So that's going to be a maximum of 2 walls already. So, if we say went this way, what would happen? We would need a narwhal between here. That's not going to work, so these bombs obviously have to be connected this way. And same story goes here. If the bombs were going up again, we would have to make another section of walls. Ergo, the bombs are going this way. And there you have it. We already know where the walls have to go. Here, 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 and here. There you go. That's half the problem solved. Where does the remainder go? Oh, there has to be a wall between you and a wall between you. So I'm just going to cross off everything that can be. And let's see. There's got to be a wall between you and the wall between you. So, all right. What else needs to have a wall between? Oh, there's got to be a wall between you, and there's got to be a wall between you and a wall between you. Only way you stop that is this way. So that's one wall put in its place. I bet it's symmetrical on this side too. Look at that. We've already solved something else. I'm sure this can help us, and in fact it does. There needs to be a wall here. And it looks like there needs to be a wall here. Okay. What else can we do? Wall. One that's going to have to go here or here. Another wall. Sorry we got caught off. That was awkward. We were on a roll and then, poof! Game, cut me off because, my storage, which I told you I checked. I swear I had enough. But, I don't know. For some reason there must have been an update or some shit by the minute I opened the game. And it gave me like a 3 gigabytes less, which was exactly the perfect amount I needed to make this video. So I just deleted a video that's already being uploaded. Should be no problem, even if the video doesn't, as long as the video, I don't know, doesn't have an error when it's being uploaded, but it's already uploaded. It's just not on there yet because it's at a scheduled time. So even if that does happen, I'm supposing I could just get it out of the trash and solve it that way. But I wanted to do a video today, so screw me, I guess. Anyway, shall we continue? Alright, so there needs to be a wall in between these two bombs, which I just realized. Excuse me? Thank you. I had to click back on the game. Okay, we're all good now. Yeah, we're all good now. Boom. And then, let's see, there needs to be a wall in between you guys. Which means that the final wall must go here. That wasn't so bad. Nice. Alright, next level. Remember, we play till the timer runs out, so don't have time to dabble. 7 and 7. Let's see. 4, 3, 4, 3. Ooh, this is very interesting. Fortunately, this question mark does block off any info I could use to tell me exactly how many of these demons are being... I'm going to call them demons now because they look more like demons than cats. It's very unfortunate because it would have told me how many of them could be killed, but it's not going to tell me that anymore. Alright, let's start with the obvious. You can only destroy this one, and you can only destroy this one. I don't know where the remainder is going. It's not going to tell me either because of this crap. What else could we use? It's very, very rude. 2 sections, too. Maybe the sections is how I can use to determine a few things because, well, let's think about it this way. How are we going to get 2 sections? These 7s obviously demonstrate that we're going to have, like, some sort of weird corners. Question is it going to be as long as this way, or is it going to be like this long that way? I would imagine it would probably be easier to do it the our way, so I'm going to start doing it that way, trying to imagine that that's the way you could solve it, but who knows, I could be completely wrong. If I'm wrong, though, it will at least tell us which way it was correct. There you go. Alright, so now what? 2 walls, 1 wall. 3 walls, 3 walls. How are we going to section these? That's the real big question. Well, I think I gotta start with the obvious. Here and here. Don't let the sections cross. We've learned this rule before. And now that I see it, this is the only true way we could have ever done it. So now what has to be done? That. Which means don't let the sections cross. We've learned this, and we've utilized this method so many times. 3 walls, 2 walls, something like this. There you go. I knew it seemed like the easier path, so it had to be most likely the one to go for. Sometimes that's just logic for you. Go for whatever seems the easiest. This is a new one. Okay, this is a new one. This one is interesting. Bombs that exist but can't explode any enemies, which means we need a wall in between here and a wall in between here, which means I just gotta mark some areas like this that are safe automatically. But that is very, very cool. Also very nice that these bombs are very instantly able to be utilized like this. I can use the 5. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Oh, and the 8 right here. No, I cannot. I am off by 1. This 8, however, is not off. I apologize for that. That was a lot to hear in one go. Oh, I forgot that X there. There you go. Whoops, forgot that one there. Nice. Nice. Could have sworn there was maybe a bit more. Ah, that's why right there with this 6. And how do we stop this 2? How about with the 5? There we go. That one was very cool, very different. Bombs that explode but cannot hit any demons. Very interesting. I hope we see more of that in the future. Apparently not now, but maybe later. Who knows? All right, let's start with the obvious. What is the obvious? One wall, one wall. This 5. Maybe I just need to pick a demon and figure things out from there. This demon right here. How is he going to explode? This? Or simply this? Does that create problems of gappings of some kind? Let me try. If I do it like here, then this one... Well, it would go here, but that would kind of disrupt the 5, meaning it has to go here. Meaning the 5 does this entire chain, breaking the 5 entirely. Ergo facto changeo. This 2 is not going to explode this way. Which means the 5 has to escape. Which means this 1 is going to have to go somewhere else. Which means this 2 has to go in some other direction. What else? How about we just start with the obvious? How's this demon exploding? There you go. Most obvious idea. What else? This demon, you can go 2 ways. Not really worried about you at the time being. 3 walls? Well, I obviously gotta block you off instantly. There's gotta be another wall in between you. I don't know where, but I know there's got to be. 1 wall, it's going here or it's going here. And then the other one will just like go here. And actually, no, that wall doesn't have to go there because like there's a whole thing where like this bomb doesn't go there, it could just go there and then that would solve the problem too. This bomb's going to explode, which is going to go completely all the way twice. And then all 3 of those just become a wall. Does that create any problems? Well, it forces this 2 to... Actually, yes! Because if all 3 of these walls are done, this bomb has to explode both these demons, which then makes it so it has to immediately explode a 3rd demon, making the solution invalid. Meaning the 5 has to destroy this demon up here. Meaning this 2 is going to look like this. Which means we need 1 wall between you. And actually, that's all. That's all the walls you would need between those. At least we did solve this one. Alright. That was a good start. What else can we do? Well, the 5 would either go this way or go this way. And here's another interesting thing. If the 2 goes down right now, the 5 has to go this way, because if it went this way now, there's nothing it'll be able to do. But what about this 2 then? How is it getting completed? No, I could still see a world that gets completed, like it goes all the way down, then this one goes all the way across. Is there ever a world where this one goes down? Maybe there's something I need to ask. Yeah, the 5 does this, and then the 2 goes this way, and then this 2 is underwhelmed. The 1 is never going down. There's your little bomb. There's your little spot. And that reveals the rest of the puzzle. There you go. There you go. There has to be a bomb in between these 2 somewhere. There has to be a bomb in between these 2 somewhere. Bomb in between you. Any other bomb holes that I've not seen? Yeah, these and this. Let's start by fixing those grade numbers. There you go. Oh, now we can start by doing this 4. Alright. Alright. What else am I missing? How about this 2? Nice. And anything else that I can find very easily. That has to get walled off. There still has to be a wall in between these guys somehow. Oh, and actually 3 walls fits perfectly right here. There you go. I don't see anything else that's a problem. Yeah, this 3 doesn't need to be done. This 7 is missing 1. This 7's missing 1. This wall is done. This 3 can be finished. This 2 can be done. This 2 can be done. This 2 can be done. This 3 is not. But this 7 is complete, which actually does reveal the 3, which stops you. And reveals the 3. Nice. Alright, let's keep going. Boom. That's our first start. What else? I see 4 sections. 4 sections. Maybe I need to start with the bombs. How are you getting exploded? Like so. Which means that you need a blocking wall. Which then means you're going to explode here, and then you go here. Which means you need a blocked off wall. And you need to be blocked off. And look at this. We're just making a whole chain of commands here. So now we need a wall in between you. And that would be it. Yeah, just a wall in between those 2. I don't know exactly how many, though. This 8 is close. Is this 7 done? This 7 is close. It's not done yet. This 3 is done. Nice. What else can I do? I'm not seeing anything. Well, how about... Oh, there needs to be a wall in between you 2 because of this. There needs to be a wall here. That's good. Glad I saw that one. Anything else that's pretty obvious? Not really. Yeah, not really. Just a bunch of what could and what couldn't be. Actually, no, this needs to be walled off here. Okay. Oh, yeah, another one between you. I don't know where, though. Okay. Well, I think that's the start. Whoops. Okay. Now, for 100% sure, that is a start. Let's begin sectioning. And I think the easiest thing to do is to start with this little droplet here. If we go up here, we instantly create this section. So now everything else that this section is connected to cannot touch anything that this section is connected to. And what else has to be in its own separate section? I don't know what section you go, I don't know what section you go, and I don't know what section you're going into either, but... Boy, this is going to create a lot of interesting dilemmas, isn't it? There's going to be a gap in between you. It could be here, but I don't quite know yet. One wall in between here? Well, yeah, it's got to be like somewhere existing this way. So does that mean this can automatically be safe? In fact, it does, because if it wasn't, then we got problems. Unfortunately now, it could literally be anywhere. Actually, no, it cannot. Because if it was here, then this would automatically connect. And if it was here, it would connect again. So now the wall could either go here or here. I don't know where, but this does help a little bit more. What else can I deduce? Well, let me start with the most obvious. Oh. Now there's an idea. If this guy ever, and I mean ever, wanted to be sectioned with anything that's not this section, coming up and around here is impossible. So the only other place would be right to this section no matter what. So what if we said that happened? Well, we have to block this off, which creates something interesting, sectioning these 2 together, which, as you can now see, forces this guy to have to go down. Also forces this, which I can then use to create a whole bunch of walls, which then overloads the 2. Ergo facto changeo, this is a second section. Which, yeah, ignore that X. I was testing something else out earlier. Which now tells me, bam, bam, that's where the two walls go. Okay, that is good to know. Does this tell me anything else? Unfortunately, no, because like these two could still be in the same section. However, this does say that this guy has to go with this section somehow, which does actually help a little more than you think, because now I can block this off entirely, which is good to know. It doesn't tell me anything else, though, unfortunately. Not yet. If only I knew this 7 a bit more. Oh, how about this? Yep, that's one more I had to do. Well, how about... I say I can do the 4. Oh, maybe I can, and here's why. Look at this. We got like this whole chain of X's here. We have to make this get blocked off. Oh, wait, no, this doesn't tell me anything. My bad, because this is already blocked here. I was assuming that you would need another one here, but as long as, like, this is sectioned away, like, it literally doesn't matter, and then you just have to block that off. So is this world possible? Actually... Oh, yeah, that was already not there. Is this world actually possible to do this? No, it is impossible. There you go. There's your logic. There's your blockage. There's your reasoning. It actually wasn't as complicated as you thought. But we are going to need an R1 between here, because if we do, that is also... Actually, that spot, I suppose, could work. Just can't be there. That is my timer. That means we have to wrap this up soon. I think I will do one more level right after this, just to make the video a bit more evenly split. But, yeah, we cannot have a wall here, because that's going to connect them. And now we have a choice of where we can put the wall. There you go. Alright, anything else? Yes, this 8 is finally able to be completed. Hallelujah. Ooh, see how this is starting to like stretch over? Very interesting. This does not have a section yet, so it is free to grab space. 7? 7 cannot be done. 2? This 2 can be done right here. There you go. That's where it's going. Meaning we gotta block all this off. There you go. There are our sections. The only thing we're missing is right here, and that is done with the 3. All it took was finding something that could give me a little information, and then the rest of the puzzle just falls together smoothly. Who'd have thunk? Alright, last level. Alright, we got 4, count them, 4 sections, 4 bombs. That's interesting, which means only 1 bomb in total is going to go with each section. Very interesting. Well, let's start with basic principles. How's this guy getting exploded? Boom. This guy got 2 explosives on him. This guy's got 2 explosives. This guy's only got 1 on him. This guy's only got 1 on him. Block you off. There's got to be a block off here, and there's got to be a block off there. Very interesting. And look, we already got our first section. This puzzle is already starting to move very smoothly. How on earth are you getting exploded? We got our second section. This is going quite well. There's got to be one between you. And there's got to be a wall between you. There you go. Now, even though we already have 2 sections, well, no, that wasn't... Let's not say that. There's still a few ways these sections could mingle together in some weird ways. Actually, I can start with something more like this 2 here. 1 wall between you, 1 wall between you. That's safe. This 3, everything looks hunky-dory. There's not really anything I can see here, unfortunately. Yeah, I feel like it wants this one to go down this way. I'm gonna play with this. I'm gonna play with this. And in fact, I know there's a photo I took on here a while ago, so let me just like there. What? There, I got a photo. So we're going to test this theory. Is this possible? Well, this instantly creates some sort of interesting dilemmas. At least all our sections are now connected. But now we have a bunch of interesting walls that need to block in between each other. And there it is. These two wall sections immediately cross to each other, meaning those two... Well, it doesn't mean that they don't go together, but it does mean the fact is that... is that everything? Hold on. It just means that that's not a wall. So, in fact, those are the sections that go together. However, this could... No, it can't be a wall anymore. There you go. Alright, that told me everything I need to know. Good experiment. Alright. So now with that done, I understand what the two walls is about. I also can understand that... Actually, here's something very, even more interesting. If this wasn't a wall, we have to somehow create a wall here and a wall here. That's impossible. So this is the wall. That is a very interesting dilemma. Very interesting. I also know that any in-between spaces such as this are their own things that have to be in a conjoined section together. What else? Well, I don't know where the wall is there, but it's somewhere. Wall there, there's a wall there, wall there. I'm not sure what the 3, 2, or 3 here is representing. Especially this one. It's very, very odd to me. Just means that like this stretches around somewhere further around, but I'm not sure where. Yeah, and this 2 is also very suspicious. No, let's just start by not crossing any sections in the slightest. Let's start with that. And there's gotta be one wall in between you, so I can immediately block those off. No, there's still possibilities in certain areas. This has to do like a diagonal the whole way. Yeah, but you could also like just do a double and then diagonal. There's no clear path. No clear path. The 3 would make sense if like this had to be a wall and there had to be an arrow in between like these two areas over here. But there's nothing like you can deduce. Well, let me start with the basics. That can never be a wall because these are separate sections. So now I can wall this off, which can now help me out a lot more. I can extend this, and I can extend a U. That is the absolute space where I know one wall must go. I don't know where, but I know it has to go in between one of those two places. And I could cut this section off, but I don't know if I'd want to. So many interesting choices, so many interesting pathing options. Well, what if it's here? Actually, yes, we can use this method. The same method I used to help me figure this out. Because if you think about it, if this was a wall, those two sections connect, making it illogical. So let me say if this was a wall. Look at that, the two sections connect. That's not allowed. So now the wall has to go here or here. I don't know where, but hey, this does help you a smidge. And in fact, I can use the same method right here. Because if this was a wall, they connect. That's not allowed. What if this was a wall? Well, that doesn't prove anything, but you get my point. Alright, what else can I use? Not much more that I can find, unfortunately. I mean, it did expand a few areas, but not much. I know there's like some sort of interesting diagonal going on here. Then again, like you don't have to make it a complete diagonal because like certain numbers being so big. Oh yeah, I see it right here with this 3. This is an interesting one because if this was walled off, we created it. We joined those sections like there. That's not allowed. Oh my god. That's what I was looking for. It took a bit of figuring out, but I found it. Unfortunately, that does seem to stop the fun train. What else can I try? Ah, that can't be a wall because it creates another conjoined amount of sections. And now look at what I've just created. There you go. You just need to follow a pattern like so. It took a bit of figuring out, but at least he got there in the end. Alright, what else does this do? Well, no, you can stop here. Wall can't be there. Wall could go there, or it could go there. I don't know where. Alright, what else? What else? What else? There's going to be one wall between there, and there's got to be one wall there. So actually, that tells me the whole story. There you go. Alright, that's one area done. And let's finish the second area. Okay. Boom. There you go. Nice. Maybe you could have figured it out with a bit more skill, but I don't know. Alright, I think that's the perfect stopping point. I'll leave you with a little teaser for next episode. Very interesting. Oh, I know I can start with this. And what else could you start with? You could start with this. Oh, those were already told for you. Funny that. Funny that. Well, you missed this, and then you missed this. And then... nah, there's too many things that could go on there. One wall in between these. There you go. Does that tell you enough now? Nope. It's closer. It is closer. One wall in between all of that. Ah, that also helps here. Oh, there you go. That's how you would start the next puzzle. Right before we get into the really deep thinking. I just marked off a few areas that would, start the whole chain flowing. But that's going to do it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Logic Bombs. I've really been enjoying this game, so I'll probably try and play this daily. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. There will definitely be more of these to come really soon. Hopefully. Just depends on how far I can get with this whole train of flowing. Anyway, with that said, peace out, gamers. Hope you've enjoyed this more calm and chilling casual game. And I will see you in the next episode with an entire new palette of design. Thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you next time.